The Oxford Brookes Virtual Learning Environment, known as Brookes Virtual, is a Blackboard-based product which has been used within the university for many years. It is supported on a number of levels. Firstly, by the product makers themselves through a good relationship with the university, and secondly at a central level through a specialist media workshop. In addition to this, at a school level there is an e-learning technologist and specialist technician who provide individual help across a range of courses within their area. What this arrangement allows is two things. Firstly, a very flexible and quick approach to the adaptation of content and material online at any time, and secondly, and most importantly, a quick response to learners' technological issues and requirements at a personal level. This is the key to the success of any online course. Any problems or issues that learners may have in using the Brookes Virtual technology are supported in a number of ways. At a basic level, there are online diagnostics which allow the student, for example, to check compatibility of their home PC or laptop with the Brookes Virtual technology and directs them to where they can find help if there are any specific problems. As well as the diagnostics for Brookes Virtual, within each course there is also online support for students which allows them access to specific help on each of the individual tools which is used in Brookes Virtual, as well as frequently asked questions and the like. It's also standard practice within each course to have a discussion area where students can report any specific technological problems that they are having and receive quick feedback from the e-learning technologist that's personal to their problem. Discussions is a very well-used tool within Brookes Virtual. It allows most obviously for communication between students and their tutors on a range of issues, but in addition to this, specialised discussions known as journals can also be set up. These are private between the individual students and their tutors. Here is one on drivers and barriers to building and occupying sustainable buildings. And the journals allow for the students to post their work for comment and feedback by the tutor, which they can then act on and repost. In this way, a record of their development of their work and their learning is kept within Brookes Virtual and can be reflected on. Here, for example, is a student's first draft of their essay. They can access the marking criteria for their work here. Comment has been made on this first draft by the tutor, and then the student has acted on this and posted a final version. This will be marked and the mark delivered through Brookes Virtual. There are various ways of assessing students' learning online. A popular choice of assessment within Brookes Virtual is the use of automatically marked quizzes. Here we are on a module, Environmental Sustainability, which is delivered to part-time students. And within the assessment there is a review quiz covering the whole of the module which students can use to test their learning. If we go into the quiz, we can see that it lasts for 45 minutes and that students are allowed unlimited attempts at the quiz. This student has actually completed 7 previous attempts and their grade for their last attempt was a paltry 20 out of 250. They are currently in the process of attempting the quiz yet again, and if we continue their assessment we can have a look at the questions themselves. What we see when we're inside the quiz is the timer counting down and the status of the existing questions. So for example, we can see that 3 of the questions have already been answered. Types of questions that are included in quizzes are things like straight, true or false questions, multiple choice of various guises, and also jumbled sentences where students choose a range of answers from a drop-down menu in order to make a paragraph make sense. Once the student has decided to finish their assessment, whether or not they've completed all the questions, they can simply click on Finish and receive their mark automatically. In this case, the student has a mark of 20 out of 250 again, and the feedback on the actual questions that they answered is then in the following pages. So this is a very quick and easy method of assessing students' learning, but by no means the only way. Learning material within Brooks Virtual can be organised in a number of ways depending on the length of the course and the needs of the student. If, for example, we're in a standard module, Property in the Environment, which runs over a single semester, material is organised into a set of folders based on specific themes, including sustainability and the credit crunch. And if we go into this folder, we can see that there is a range of material for the students to look at in their own time, including access to the webinar by the Green Building Council, as well as that being supported by reading on the webinar within the Guardian, including the results of the online poll. So the students can watch the webinar in their own time and read that material.
Good afternoon. I'm Paul King from the UK Green Building Council. I guess probably most of you know that, as we've probably met at some point or the other.
Packaging material in this way makes learning interesting for students and supports face-to-face sessions, as well as allowing them, using the other tools, to work together collaboratively after viewing material individually. One of the benefits of online learning is the learning that can take place between the students as a group, rather than just from the tutor to the students. This is often underrated and can result in some very innovative learning. Here, for example, on a module called Technology and Sustainability, students have worked together to produce a series of post-occupancy evaluation movies on a range of buildings, and these have been uploaded into the media library within Brooks Virtual so that the students can view them and leave feedback on them. So peer review is taking place here. Let's have a look at the quality of one of these movies, the Oxford Science Laboratory, known as Northbrook House. Let's move this on a little bit.
The Northbrook House lies in the Oxford Science Park. It was designed by Ian Ritchie Architects and was completed in 1997. The intentions of the building were to create a sustainable, naturally ventilated, well-lit office building. The key design feature is a steel solar shading mesh that covers the east and west faces of the building, and the rest of the design conforms around this feature. The mesh is under extreme tension so as to stop it from swaying in the wind. To support this tensioning, the roof beams had to be pre-stressed. The slight upward curve in the roof beams is visibly apparent from the outside. The intention of this mesh was to break the sunlight and cool the building down. The greatest success of the Northbrook House is the lighting. All of the facades are double glazed and all the...
So that's just an example of some more innovative learning that can take place as a group on Brooks Virtual, and that can be viewed by students without them actually having to be at Oxford Brookes physically.